What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the channel on a beautiful Monday night, very quiet Monday night. This one is following last night's defeat to St Kilda by 14 points in what was probably the most eventful game of the season so far. Most fun to watch, in my opinion, as well, albeit very, very poor skills by both teams. But the pressure was high, so that's to be expected. Before I want to get into any of that stuff, I just want to say how good Gather Round was. I love it every single year. They need to keep it here for more than just the end of the contract, which is this year. Sign that contract because it's beautiful here. And why would you take it anywhere else when it is as good as it is here? Just the festivities around the area. We really get into it, Adelaide do. And yeah, they better keep it here for sure because I'm not going anywhere. And Gather Round, yeah, it exists here. So nevertheless, yeah, St Kilda got over the top. Now, I just preface this by saying I am going to talk about the umpiring in this video. So if you've come here to not hear about the umpires, you've come to the wrong area because as a neutral, you've got to be sitting there saying, what the hell was that umpiring? We definitely got shafted, probably lost the game because of it, I do think. Lots of momentum swings and goals caused directly by free kicks. Just ridiculous. But you, in a sense, you feel like you also still lost it by your own accord, just with the poor efficiency. Inside 50s were awful. The service all night was really bad. But we'll go straight into it, and I'll give you my first thoughts about the game. Now, if it wasn't for the first quarter, where Port just weren't switched on initially, this game probably would have been Port's, because from the first quarter, we ran over Saints. I had low expectations going into this, so I'm not disappointed in what I saw from Port. I know that we're going to be lower placed for the whole entire season, and I know a lot of other Port fans recognize that, so we don't have high expectations. But when the game turned out as it did, you've just got to feel bad, don't you? Like, all the effort that we put in for the last 3 quarters to go out the window just because of some poor decision making by Port and by umpires. It really, yeah, it hurts, but nevertheless, you just got to cop it. That's what umpiring is. It's volatile. I am going to go into the ZAK Butters Nick Foot situation because that is absolutely crazy and insane as well, and definitely a bad look for the AFL. But I do want to highlight some players from Port. Let's go straight into it. So ZAK Butters from the get-go, it's going to be so sad when we lose him, but at least when we do lose him, we're going to get the absolute best of the best draft pick-wise, I think, because he's an absolute gun, and without him, we would be probably the bottom side in the whole entire AFL. I'm going to be real here. Sweet definitely held his own in the ruck for all night. I think that, yeah, against TDK and Marshall, I think Marshall was playing. I'm not 100% sure. I do believe he was. Yeah, against both, that was, I thought, going to be a lot taxing, very taxing for him, but he held his own. TDK was around the ground a lot more, which he made sweet run, but he kept up with it, and he's been great since he came in. I think that Vicentini is probably going to see himself on the sidelines for a little bit, just with Sweet's form. I thought he was great last year. I didn't even see the point in playing Vicentini at all, unless Sweet gets injured. But yeah, he's great. Willem Drew, he's got a high score there, but it wasn't super impactful for Willem Drew. Definitely had a better week than last week, that's for sure. Who was impactful was Ollie Wines, and definitely noticeable. Just strong, big old hips, gets tackled, absolutely just shrugs and hand passes. He's that dude you need in the team. Does nothing flashy, but he's in and around the contest when you need it. Only 66% time on ground for 26 touches is insane. Aaliyah, I don't think he had his best game, to be honest with you. He was back down there and he was doing his Aaliyah things, but just drops sometimes the easy ones. He does all the hard work, makes position, and then drops it. He turned over towards the end of the game, which really put the foot down for St Kilda, put it down, the foot on the throat to end the game. So a little bit disappointing in that one, but it happens to the best of us. So what can you do? Nothing you can change about that. Lockie Jones, great. Him and Evans, both of them distributing from back, were brilliant, in my opinion. There's a few other dudes here that I really want to highlight as well. Joe Richards is one of those. He had a great game. His run through the middle was excellent. Horn Francis, he's a gun. He just needs to be consistent. He pops up for quarters. His third quarter was massive, created a big target up forward. Is also super strong through contest. He just needs to consistently put that on in a daily basis. Each game, doesn't matter the opposition. If he does, he is probably going to be a Brownlow medalist one day. He's just that elite of a player if he puts his mind to it consistently. Georgiades was being held all damn night, getting grabbed by Wilkie, being grabbed by everyone down back. Umpires watching, doesn't give a crap. It's just, what can you do when your big tall forward is just being manheld like that? Not a lot at all, that's for sure. Jace Burgoyne, silly decision to put him on Nas, in my opinion. Yes, they are similar players. Is Burgoyne anywhere near the type to tag and to control Nasiah? No, that's not at all what Jace Burgoyne as a player is. He's just not strong enough to keep up with Nasiah. I think that Nasiah killed us in the first half. That's what really got to them on top initially, was Nasiah's run down back, and he's elite. And Nasiah is elite. He was great to watch as just a fan of football last night. I cannot lie. But I thought that decision was not great, just to stick him down on there. And obviously, they decided at halftime that the decision was wrong and to move him on to he play his normal role. And he came good towards the end of the game when he did. Farrell, they're still looking to distribute through Farrell. He wasn't around the contest that much during the night, but they're still looking to run everything through him because he's big left foot, and I believe that's what you should. Barry, bit better than last couple weeks. He's quiet last couple weeks, but yeah, his decision making is a little bit questionable at sometimes. Set shot needs some work, that's for sure. I'm not confident whenever he's lining up for goal ever. I'd rather him on the run 9 times out of 10, and I cannot say the same for the dude under him, Corey Durden. Bro is like sniper in front of goals. He hasn't missed all year, I don't think. If there was a penalty shirt situation ever, he's the dude who's taking it for you. Todd Marshall started down back, then went forward, which was a really interesting call. I don't know if it was the right one. It kind of got us a little bit more of an edge up forward because they were manhandling Georgiades, and Whitlock kind of didn't get into the game much. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I think he would just go down back again. Lai showed some promise in some areas where I'm just not sold on where at the moment. Yeah, I don't know. He's a bit soft for my liking on that wing. He's not impactful enough. He's not going to get you to that upper level. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Lukosius didn't have a great game. He was just slow. Played on the wing at some stages. All he could do a couple of times is just bomb it forward because the options were crap forward. They were being manhandled, and yeah, I just didn't think he had one of his best games, that's for sure. Bergman, oh bro, what's up with Bergman? I don't understand what's going on. They started him forward, like full forward, and that's just not his position whatsoever. I don't know if that's why they don't have confidence in him coming off half back, or they don't have confidence in him in the middle. I'm not sure what's going on with him because he is an elite player, but he's just not showed it this year at all. Whitlock, it didn't really impact the game much. Had one beautiful rundown tackle towards the end of the game when we had the momentum. But other than that, all he could do was provide an option up forward. Service to him was awful all night. I will be real. The efficiency all night, kicking wise inside 50, was bad. So you can't blame him too much for that. But yeah, didn't really get going. And Watkins, he's probably gone back into the twos for a week, I reckon. 2 stinkers in a row. Just 54% time on ground. I think it's probably time to go back and work on some things a little bit. He's not impacting the game enough for my liking, and I think we could have someone come back to give another shot. Maybe I don't know who's going to come in for him, to be honest, because our depth is not great. But I just mix it up a little, give some other blokes some opportunities, in my personal opinion, and then let him come back in once he's displayed his worth in the twos. But that's pretty much the breakdown for each individual player, port-wise. Now, going into my umpiring complaints and the specific calls. Now, the one where was Zach Butters given mouth to the umpire, it was the most egregious umpiring ruck call I've ever seen ever. Now, I know letter of the law, hand grabbing the jumper is a free kick in a ruck sense, but it was the most inconspicuous that happens every single ruck contest sort of thing. You just let it go. Like you don't pay that, especially when we were having a little bit of the momentum, and that like absolutely kills it with a set shot right in front of goals. To then be so soft as to 50-meter penalty and telling Zach Butters saying, "I'm telling on you. You're reported now, buddy." For saying, I think it's come out tonight that he's going to tribunal, and that he said something like, "What are they paying you?" Oh my God. Even if he said that, you're the softest little, it annoys me so much, but that really killed any momentum we had. And it just puts, yeah, it puts even more. It's like the cherry on top on such a bad umpiring night. The ducking from Leon Ryan, where Horn Francis sort of does the same action and absolutely gets his head taken off, like absolutely ran into, and is not paid anything, when Liam Ryan's doing it every single time in forward 50 is just ridiculous. One down back where I think it was Nasai came through on Whitlock, absolutely just pummeled in front on contact, right in front of goal, no call whatsoever. Just so many holding frees against Georgiades that should have been paid. They were just on him every single contest. I was watching up in the big old rafters. Just ridiculous. What were some other examples? Some other examples is just the non-holding the bowl calls. Like so many times where Port will put it on the pressure, the Saints had the ball and they would fumble, and because they fumbled, they just let it play on, sort of thing. It's not a correct disposal. I don't understand it. Yeah, just lots of stupid calls that I think should have been made and weren't made. And then a lot that were paid to St Kilda when they were 50-50, or you've got to be consistent and paying both sides. And I think a lot of neutral supporters were seeing the same things that all us Port fans were seeing. Even some St Kilda fans had seen some of that. I saw on the line, some of the comments saying they definitely got the run of the green. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes out of the Zach Butters tribunal thing. It's a bit of drama, but a bit spicy, but it's not a great look for the AFL, especially when this Nick Foot bloke is he works for Sportsbet. Apparently, he's representative for Sportsbet. You just, yeah, conflict of interest pretty much. So I don't think it's a good look whatsoever, no matter the outcome at all. Zach Butters definitely won't be getting 3 votes from him, that's for sure. Yeah, but it's disappointing. I didn't expect much, and I'm fine with the result because we showed more promise than what we have in any other games, maybe except against Essendon, but it's Essendon, so can't take too much from it. But other than that, yeah, I think it was better than our win against, who was it? Who did we win against? I forgot. Richmond. I think this was a better game than the one against Richmond last week, in my personal opinion. But I've become content. We're probably going to be bottom 5, 6 range. Nothing, yeah, not making that wild card slot, I don't think. But that's okay with me because, yeah, you got to find where your young guns are for the next generation. Zachy, yeah, you've been serviceable, mate, but I don't think he's going to decide to stay at Port, especially with the trajectory that we are going. It's going to take some time. I am looking forward to years of Connor Rosie being captain. I think he is a good leader, and we're missing that leadership out there at the moment. But yeah, it is what it is, and I think I've been yapping a little bit too long. It's getting late. But I'll get this one out on Monday night. This week we have Hawthorn at Marvel Stadium. It might be an absolute flogging. Who knows what's going to happen? But yeah, it's going to be a tough watch, I think. We hope not. All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me and chatting about the egregiousness of this one. And yeah, hopefully we don't get walloped by 50 plus points next week at Marvel. But I will make a video previewing that one anyway. So thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your night and peace out. Watch my Supercoach video as well if you do care. Bye-bye.